boys and ghouls, and welcome to the Hair Metal Massacre podcast. My name is Steve, joined by my co-host,
William Fincher, here in our first episode of February.
and we are members of the Subhuman race, maybe?
I know I am.
Something like that.
Or at least I used to be.
We'll get around to that. The positive people, yes. It is February now. Show note, we had a tough episode. We were just talking about this before we started the show. The tough episode got pulled. Copyright infringement, publishing, So it is only on Rumble. Shout out to Rumble. They don't care what you put up. But
sounds a lot like America, man. Freedom.
They are about the freedom over at Rumble. Spotify and YouTube will be dodgy, and basically everything that Spotify spits out to other podcast companies will be maybe not. Well, so this review, because this is also an Atlantic record, we're going to be a little choppier. Hopefully, maybe dodge this flag, as they like to pull on us. So we'll see. Yeah, fingers crossed. Super Bowl happened last night. We attended Feldman's party. Feldman, one of the original hosts with us of the podcast. Had a good time. You have a good time, Fincher?
I had a great time, man.
Yeah, it was fun. Always good to kick it with everybody.
Yeah, I'm glad nobody had too much of a meltdown. We had some opposing fandoms represented there. It didn't get too bad. Maybe a slam door here or there. Somebody ran outside, but
a grunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Feldman's got the nice setup. Like literally, let me describe this for people at home. He's got a big ass TV and then a carport, which works better during the summer, but whatever, it's fine. Then you walk into his game room / arcade. He's got 2 TVs there. Then you go into his kitchen, into his living room, 2 TVs in there. My man has a lot of TVs, and
each sports bar in that place.
Pretty much, yeah. And they all, at least one screen had the football game on, so the big game, if you will. And yeah, I mean, I'm not a football guy, but I just I'll watch the Super Bowl. It's kind of like being a wrestling fan, or not being a wrestling fan, but you watch WrestleMania. I don't know if you can find it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge football fan, but I'm a casual. I watch it with people. I don't necessarily really have a team I'm like rooting for and losing sleep over and punching walls about, but it's something fun to do. Get together with some people, and watch a game, eat some food, drink some beer.
Bro down.
Yeah, just bro down. It's never hurt anybody, right?
Right. If I had to pick a team, I'd say Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just like their piratey logo and thing going on.
And they're in the great state of Florida. That's going for them too.
Yeah, that's going for them. So on Facebook last week, there was a fad of making a chat GPT caricature of yourself. And I don't know, once in a while I partake in these things. And my picture was pretty horrible. I like the actual selfie, corny as I am, fucking taking pictures in my bathroom with a fedora on. It's a good picture of me, but the caricature was pretty funny and weird. It scared my kids. They were like, "Oh, Dad, why do you look like an elf?" They're like, "You look like an elf or something." I was like, "I don't know." So this, of course, disgusted Feldman. He proceeded to print out, 20 copies of this picture in color and posted it everywhere in his house so that when I arrived, I would see such and just. But I was kind of like, "Oh, that's cool." I think our buddy Rob, thought I'd had more of a freak out about it. I'm like, well, that's fine. But anyway, can't take yourself too seriously in 2026. People are way too uptight.
That's the truth, man.
This is facts, yeah. There's some news. Don't really need to pull it up. Twisted Sister, who we reviewed earlier in the podcast episodes, they were supposed to have a big 50th anniversary tour this summer. Yeah, I think 50th anniversary. And that has been canceled due to a health issue with Dee Snider. So, do you know a little more about it, Fincher?
I read about him pulling out, but if I remember correctly from what I was reading, it just said there was some sort of long-standing medical issue he'd been dealing with for quite a while.
And Dee's a pretty healthy cat.
That's what I thought. I mean, he looks and sounds healthy. I don't know what they were talking about, because I haven't heard anything else throughout the years about him having, any kind of health issues, which, I mean, people keep that stuff mum. I don't blame him, but
Yeah, I don't
it's
blame
kind of weird. It's like, if you knew you weren't feeling well, why'd you plan this whole big 50th anniversary shebang? And
I guess it was a fingers crossed deal.
it
I
could have
mean,
been, yeah.
nah, but I guess it was pretty serious if they canceled. I was supposed to go see The Mission, which is a UK. So The Mission, for
Good
anybody who's
band.
into some goth rock, yeah, it's the Sisters of Mercy without Andrew, the singer, because they pieced out after the first album. And they formed The Mission. Andrew kept going with a drum machine and got a girl and all da. Sisters of Mercy. Mission. Mission was supposed to come to Atlanta. It was last summer, the summer before. Tour got canceled. Somebody had a health issue. Got a refund. I'm like, drat, because I missed them in 22 also when they came. Maybe one day I'll see The Mission. We'll see. Oh, also, the band we're reviewing tonight, Skid Row, has put out feelers to audition singers. Let me pull up the article here. Here we are on good old Metal Sludge. Steve, who may or may not like us. We're not sure what to do. What happened with all that? Whatever. Well,
We just want to talk about your album, bro.
yeah, bro, we're just trying to put you over, kinda, in a judgmental fashion, but still giving you exposure. Damn it!
Maybe
What?
that's what he was mad about, was the 2 stars.
Two
He's like, "Man,
two
fuck."
gold skulls.
Yeah, yeah. Man, he was like, "Man, fuck these guys. That's all they can give me. Delete."
Right? Yeah, out of here. Skid Row auditions open. It's official. Skid Row have partnered with Sweetwater, like the guitar company, or so what's this instrument company,
Mm.
or the beer. I'm not sure which one. And launched a worldwide search for their new vocalist. The very subject was recently teased when Scotty Hill, guitar player, was interviewed by the Music Universe. And they said, in about a week, we're going to make an announcement. The Metal Sludge covered this earlier, calling out to almost all singers.
Hmm.
Skid Row are getting ready. Make an announcement. Lead singer, So interesting. Open to singers worldwide. No submission deadline. Submissions reviewed until the right singer is found. You got the voice, you got the attitude and the fire. Step up. Submit here. Right on. Oh, everybody, if you're interested in trying out on the Metal Sludge article, there's a submit here button to click on. I guess that takes you to a link. I would imagine you send a YouTube video of you singing karaoke to 18 in Life. I don't know. That would probably be a good test. Kind of
Part
reminds
of
me
me
of
just
the.
can't help but wonder, and I mean, we're about to review an album by these guys. I love this band, but part of me can't help but wonder if Scotty and Rachel aren't really the bad guys, because I've heard them badmouth Bach, and then whatever their original drummer that left after Bach left and was like, "Will never join Skid Row again unless you bring Bach back." The more time goes by, I'm starting to think they're the problem, because they also can't keep any other singer. 'Cause they've
That would
lost,
be
like 3 now since
quite a few, yeah.
at
And
least
the
that.
Swedish kid was great, like, but he claimed it was a health issue. But then next thing you know, apparently he's playing with Michael Schenker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Who the
I
fuck
but just
knows?
yeah, I don't want to badmouth anybody, because I don't know. I just, part of me is just starting to wonder that maybe Rachel and Scotty are the actual villains in this situation.
And I was reading up, and this whole, I mean, they were on shaky grounds anyway. But what Bach was like, somebody from Kiss reached out, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, we'll open." And apparently Rachel and Scotty were not cool with this, or Snake, or somebody, and that kind of was what blew it up for him leaving or getting fired or whatever hell. I was like, I never knew the actual incident that caused that. Apparently that's the official story. And but it's interesting, like, if you get into it, they so on this record that we're going to review, the big tour was opening for Van Halen. And throughout their career, there's a lot of opening as far as arenas went. GNR, a couple other bands. And then, like, but they could pack out a club or mid-sized venue. But it's just kind of, I don't know if Rachel got too big a head or something. Like, oh no, we're fucking headlining act, man. We ain't opening for nobody no more. Third album, bro. No. It's make it interesting. straight to video movie, I guess.
I mean, one day would like to know. I hope one of these guys writes a tell-all book or just does a in-depth interview at some point in time before they pass away. I would like to know the true story because I know, I mean, most bands that have reached that level of success, there is a certain element of, beef and drama and infighting. And
If you don't know who Rachel is, he's bass player, one of the key songwriters. I've clear that up for everybody. And
hmm,
Bach was singer, of course, in the first 3 records. So yeah, they've had quite a few singers since. Have you ever seen actual Skid Row? I know we've seen
and
Bach.
no, yeah, Bach was amazing, but I know
He's
I want
coming
to
to
say a
Radio
couple
Room.
years. Say what now?
He's coming to Radio Room.
Oh, I
Yeah.
might actually do that. I hadn't heard that yet.
It's March or April, but I'm
Oh,
like, I'm gonna see him at the Mount Monsters thing. So I'm like, whatever.
no,
I might
true,
go.
true.
But yeah, he's killer live.
Yeah, he
I
sounded
recommend.
great when we saw him. But yeah, Skid Row is. I'm trying to remember if they even came around here
They don't come
post.
around. What's ironic? Rachel lives in Atlanta. They don't come around this area much.
That's what I was about to say. I don't even when the albums they've put out post Bach, I can't recall them ever being here, Charlotte, Columbia,
Then again,
Atlanta.
Atlanta's got an airport that goes everywhere, so that's probably the reason a lot of people live in Atlanta.
Well,
So
true.
that's the thing. Well, let's get on to it. Subhuman Race, the third effort from Skid Row, was released on March 28th of 1995. Boys, the party's kind of over, but it's kind of like them. This is a similar deal with Motley. I'll go ahead and call it Motley Karabi. Like, can we traverse this storm of grunge, if you will? Can we survive? So, but I feel like one of those records is better than the other. We'll get to that later. This record is produced by Bob Rock,
Hmm.
surprisingly, and was recorded in Vancouver. This is their final record for Atlantic. Is recorded at the Greenhouse in Vancouver and Seacoast Sound. And like I said, they supported Van Halen, who was on Balance at this point with Hagar, Balance Tour. And that was like 95, 96 probably. And it debuted at number 35 on the Billboard 200 and it stayed there for 9 weeks, which
Oh
is
wow, that's pretty
interesting.
surprising.
Yeah. Now, here's the bad news. First record, 5 times platinum. Slave to the Grind, 2 times platinum. I figured it'd be at least 3, but
I think it was time. And that album is
no.
probably one of my
90,
favorites of this genre. We'll get to that at
mm-hmm.
another point, but that's some top tier shit in my book. But I think it was somewhere in '91, bro. Like
Kind of end of days for the
they
most
were
part.
cashing out real quick right before that ship exploded.
Yeah. Subhuman Race, 165,424 units sold. Quite the drop. Oh, yeah. And like, I remember watching something about the crew. Well, more in the crew shirt. I think Krabi was like, yeah, people just kind of, people, we put it out and people, they were expecting to sell like it always does, Motley Records, and this one just didn't. So, the same story here. I got a few problems with this record. Wait, what's that?
This is my copy of Subhuman Race that I have owned since probably '98 or '99, and to my knowledge, I'm the only person who owns this copy.
Is that
I
like
think
an
I reached out
import?
years ago on a Skid Row thread and then also on a Discogs thread wanting to know if anybody knew of any alternate copies. And it's not an import, it's straight up legit.
Does it say promotional copy or anything on the back?
No,
Oh,
no.
weird.
Yeah.
What's the disc look like? Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, man.
weird. Yeah, but I've tried to ask some people and I've got nowhere with it. But since we're actually reviewing it, if anybody listening to this podcast would
For
know, of any, maybe it was a first issue pressing. I don't know.
could have been.
Yeah, but it's straight up legit from Atlantic. I mean, I bought it from BMG all them years ago when I was in the music club.
Oh, well, here's what it is. BMG, they just licensed stuff and made their own copies of albums.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
own hundreds of
but it still counts
BMG
as
versions of CDs, and they're all identical,
yeah.
minus the barcode on the back to any other version. It's strange. I have done so much
Yeah.
research throughout the years on that, trying to find out, and I mean, if it wasn't their third and final album for the major label, you know what I mean? There might be more info out there, but like you said, it didn't really
For,
sell a whole lot.
for folks who can't see our pretty faces, the album cover is like a girl in front of some bars and stuff, like
Yeah, it's very
horizontal.
1995 looking, but
Yeah, and the regular album cover is just blue, and it has like bars also that have some kind of little images and just the logo. It's kind of ho hum. Made a little AI
yeah.
thing out of it for the podcast though. But that looked kind of cool. But so if Slave to the Grind is your number one in the Skid Row, where does this? Do you own anything besides the first three?
Well, I also own that, what's this? The EP they put out in between Slave to the Grind and Subhuman, Beside Ourselves.
Now, does that have the Ramones cover?
It does. It's got like a Kiss cover, a Ramones
Psychotherapy.
cover. Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
Psychotherapy. Yeah, I think there's a Priest cover on here. This
Oh,
actually went gold, I think, in
wow.
what, late '92. I think it came out and set. See, this is also a BMG disc.
Ah,
Everything else is identical to any other version you'd ever see. Make
gotcha.
it make sense. I don't know. But yeah, other than that,
Mhm.
that's all I own. I don't own any of their other. I've listened to their other albums, like streamed them or whatever, but I've never physically bought.
Yeah. I own first record, Slave, and the best of the 40 seasons
Oh
or
yeah, I
whatever.
forgot I have that one too.
And allegedly, some tracks, I guess the singles from this were remastered for that,
Yes,
which
they're a lot.
it's
They
like,
got a
huh.
lot more kind of low end, a little bit of a cleaner mix. They got a little more bass to them.
hmm hmm well, let's move along and get the record going. And this first song and first single, it's called My Enemy. Here we go.
Didn't know there was a video for this.
So this riff, I'm going to pause it. I automatically think of the Molly Karabi record, that kind of
No, I agree,
heavy.
100%.
It's very reminiscent of that. And so that's an opening riff. Let's get on to the chorus here, right about here. Very 1995 video.
I mean, yes, they're good. There's some money behind this video, though. The production
Mm-hmm.
quality's nice.
Interesting, no rhythm guitar. Oh, there it goes. Boys, what the fuck was that solo?
I tell you what it was, Steve. It was 1995. The label was
Yeah,
like
hey
interfering
fellas.
really fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
Just from what I could tell, too, I think the band wanted to continue using Michael Wagner, but Atlantic was like, "No, you're using Bob Rock."
Mm-hmm. Because Wagner did the first two and
Yep.
proven success. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. It's okay for a single. There's worse tracks on here. We'll get into those.
One thing I will say about it, like you said, it's not their best song. I do like the riff. I feel like they're venturing into some new
Sound
territory, but without really selling out. But I will
kind of
say Bach's
Soundgarden-y.
vocals sound fucking amazing on this song, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I can
Yeah,
say, yeah.
it gets it changes throughout the record, his level of intensity, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, didn't mean to play that yet. Yeah, and the video is pretty fun. For a little simple black and white and lots of cool lighting. And like I said, very 1995. But It's all good. It was 1995. Yeah, the riff is kind of Soundgarden-y, kind of STP
in a way, and I mean, we'll get deeper as we go into the album. But
second track's called Fire Sign.
What we both are.
True. So that's the intro. So a little taste of the end of the verse here. So they got that. There's a solo. This song will be better acoustic.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, be better acoustically.
That would sound really good, actually.
Little 12-string acoustic action, maybe some
get Nuno Betancourt in there, you know.
Yeah, but get Nuno on the case. Fetch, what do you think of Fire Sign?
I like the song. I don't think anything on this album is peak Skid Row. But I will go out on a limb and say I feel like this album is better than the majority of things they put out after this album. But no, I dig the song though. I like the melody of the chorus. Once again, I think Bach's vocals kind of carry the song. The solo of this song I do like. I mean, it's not as impressive as some of their earlier work, but you know, for the time it came out and what it is, I like the song. I really don't know why it wasn't a single, to be honest with you. I feel like this song would have been a hit on the radio.
Very melodic, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like people that, even if they didn't know, they might have liked it more if they didn't know it was Skid Row, if that makes sense. I could just, I mean, we were both alive then. I listened to FM radio a lot in 1995, 96, and
it would fit
maybe
in right
I'm wrong,
well.
but I really just, I could see this song being a big radio hit, but
it fit right in there between Soundgarden and Bush on 103X.
All right. I miss that station, man.
Shout out to 103X. Oh, yeah, the chunky riffs, they're also kind of King's X-y. Yeah.
I didn't think of that either, but it is, yeah.
Dogman, King's X.
Yeah.
King's X is a very influential band not a lot of people know about. But
I love King's X a lot.
They got some quality songs. All right, moving on. Next song, Bonehead. This is not about the rhythm guitar player for Oasis in the first lineup, and he's back in it now. Not Bonehead Arthurs. But wait, yeah, things like Paul Arthurs. Yeah, here we go. Shout out to Bonehead. Cranking up the energy, boys. Let's move on ahead.
Wake up, motherfucker.
Yeah, this is a cup of coffee in fucking audible form. Shit. It was almost thrash. This song.
I was just thinking this song would have fit in on Slave to the Grind, I feel like.
Yeah, totally. It's got that vibe. Bonehead, 59,000 plays. Short, I was 217. That's okay. Rachel, I feel like Rachel and Nikki Sixx are kindred spirits, and that they always really just wanted to be in a punk band. But
punk bands
this
don't pay though.
punk bands don't pay, fellas. Yeah, I can testify. Um, Venture Bonehead, take it, leave it.
I dig it. Like I said, I feel like it would fit in good on Slave to the Grind, which is a great album. It would have probably been a filler track on Slave to the Grind, but it would have fit in well. It's like you said, it's got a good energy. It's
Picking it up.
Picking it up, and I feel like it's kind of at least in my head, I feel like this is a statement by the band for this album. Like, hey, we hadn't sold out. We're not trying to go soft.
Yeah.
So, but it's a short little fun rocking song.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's beat yourself blind. Oh, bass for your ass. This one, I don't know. It's got a little too much attitude, Bach's kind of overdoing it. Kind of sounds like a local band that's like, oh, yeah, we sound like Skid Row. Check us out. Yeah. I don't know. Pass. What do you think, Fitcher?
It's not my favorite song on this album. I was kind of reading up, getting ready for this review. I see you mentioned that 40 Seasons best of, because there's little write-ups of every song that's on there by a different member of the band or whatever in the booklet. And Sebastian Bach, apparently that's one of his favorite songs off of this album. He said he feels like it was an ass kicker, and he's like, it just gave us an excuse to like go completely nuts for 5 minutes on stage live. Which, as much tension was in the band at the time, it probably felt really good for all of them to just let some aggression out, if not on each other, but kind of like
therapeutic.
Kind of like the previous song though. It's just it's not 5-star material, but in the right mood, it's fun. It is pretty aggressive, but I understand where you're getting at too. It does kind of sound like Skid Row trying to be Skid Row or something.
Yeah. I'm fortunate. I've never been in a band where like I hated the other guy or something. I've had people that the band went to hell because we had different creative ideas, resentment, but not full on hate or disgust for another bandmate. But thankfully,
I feel like somebody's either got to be really bad for that to happen, or you just got to just have so much shit happen that nobody ever talks about, and it just builds up to where like, I hate this son of a bitch.
Because bands are a family, and families fight.
That they do.
All right. Well, let's move on to Eileen. I actually work with an Eileen who's about to retire. She's the accounting lady.
I think that's one name of person I've never actually met in real life. I don't know if I've ever met any Eileen, even in passing in real life.
Well, there's one lives
which
up
is
in
weird.
Lyman.
It's a pretty common name,
Yeah, it's a pretty old school name. There we go. Oh, getting proggy. It's interesting. We're bringing the energy down, but getting a little proggy on the drums. Experimenting with some vocal techniques, but some vocal effects. We should talk more about what the lyrics are about. What the hell's Eileen about? A chick you knew? Do you know?
Let's take a look. I'm
Okay.
a big fan of, again, the vocal melody and the chorus of this song.
Mm,
I remember poster fold-outs of CDs.
nice.
It's how I read these lyrics. I would read it as they've given the, name, quote, "Eileen" to, either, like, something bad they're drawn to they shouldn't be doing or a bad situation.
Lyrics are kind of witchy.
That's what I'm saying. I kinda get that vibe. They're not on the nose lyrics, but that's how I read them.
A
It's
little
just kinda
vague.
like a being tempted by something or someone maybe that you probably
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be, and, it's just
Mm-hmm. So you dig this track, I hear. You're saying remains to be seen. I forgot that we can look up songmeanings.com
Oh, I
and
forgot about that too.
yeah, see what
I
other
wonder about
people
the
think.
accuracy of those, but yeah, honestly, "Eileen" is one of my favorite songs off this album.
Golly, it's 5 minutes. I think it's 5 minutes and 30 seconds, 36 seconds. Jeez, long track.
It's a
This
journey,
whole
man.
record, this whole record's long. Fish. This record's like an hour long.
Oh, yeah. I think they
They
knew
got
they
their
were
money's
off
worth.
Atlantic. We're like, "We're gonna spend these motherfuckers money, fuck them."
Yeah, they probably had at least a little fun up in Vancouver, and
Well,
uh,
I'm sure contractually, I'm sure the label begrudgingly did it, but I mean, you can't put out 2 multi-platinum albums followed by a gold EP and not guaranteed have a budget, so
true, true.
kinda
Nope,
like
you never
Winger with
know.
Pool, apparently that was one of the most expensive, at least was when it was released, Pool was one of the most expensive albums ever recorded, if I'm not
Oh, Winger.
mistaken. Oh, yeah, and Kip did it on purpose, the same thing, the label didn't care about it, but he was like, "Hey, guys, I got a contract right here that says I gave you 2 multi-platinum albums, I got an even bigger budget this time."
Ha
Th
ha.
Yeah, everybody knew it wasn't gonna sell, but I mean, this isn't a Winger episode, but if anybody's interested, just look up if you're further reading, just look up Winger Pool and the story of how that album was recorded and how it came to be. Highly underrated in my opinion.
It was like 93, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might actually be the best Winger album, hot take.
Well, my favorite singles is on there.
I'm not
All
saying it's the best Winger or it's not my favorite Winger album, but just as a music fan in general, I I love Winger's first 2 albums, but Pool is a very sophisticated, smart rock record.
Down Incognito. That's the name of the
Yeah,
single.
that song's the shit.
It's a good one. Got that
Video's
harmonica.
cool too.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it before. Well, this remains to be seen. It's a little too busy for me. Filler track. The AI overview tells me that the song explores themes of societal decay, personal chaos, and hidden dark truths. That's another thing about this record. It's a little darker than the others. The first two,
Yeah.
it's '90s, of course.
And
Uh,
I think that's a lot to do with, the '90s and then just the situation internally among the band themselves at this point.
mm-hmm,
'Cause
mm.
from what I could tell at this point, it was Scotty and Rachel in one camp, and then Rob, their drummer, and Sebastian kinda in another camp, and
Because this is
'cause I didn't
Rob's
know
last
that
record
till I
too.
was looking into research to review this album as many times as I've listened to. I didn't know that their drummer, Rob, left immediately after Bach did.
Yeah,
Scotty and
yeah.
Rachel were like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "It's not Skid Row without all of us, and unless you hire him back, I'm not coming back." But
Mm-hmm.
apparently Rob's the only member of Skid Row who has maintained a relationship and friendship with all of the previous members.
Hmm.
He's still
Interesting.
friends with, Scotty and Rachel, and he's still friends with Bach. And apparently he's tried to, from what I was reading,
Bring things
tried to
back.
bring the
Huh?
camps together again, but Scotty and Rachel are like, "Fuck you, no." Fuck Sebastian
Yeah.
Bach. I just wanna know what
I
he did to make them hate him so much.
It can't just be the Kiss thing. They I
That's what I'm
guess
saying.
they
It's gotta be that. I mean, that could have been the straw that broke the camel's back,
yeah. Hmm.
but I don't know.
Yeah, there's
Sebastian Bach did steal the spotlight, and maybe, Scotty and or Rachel were kinda like you said earlier, maybe wanted more of that,
we forget
like
Snake.
Motley Crue,
Snake.
like all 4 band members were, like, famous in their own right, I feel like
Hmm.
so maybe that was some of the tension, maybe they felt like they were in Bach's shadow,
Hmm. Yeah.
but I
Which
can say just, like, the aura of Sebastian Bach, he is, like, the prototypical perfect front man for a rock band.
he's a presence, yes,
Yeah, I
very
mean,
much.
everything about that dude, he is, like, just the perfect front man for a rock band. He's like fucking Mick
Mhm.
Jagger in my book.
Definitely, definitely.
It's sad we
He
haven't had more from Bach throughout the years, but
Yeah, but as a band guy, if you're gonna have a guy that just sings, be prepared to be overshadowed by him. That's kind of like people's main attention generally when
well,
they
especially when he's like
check a
7
band
foot
out.
tall and has long blonde hair, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like
he was a pretty man back in the day too. So what are you gonna do? Shit, that's working for you.
that's what I'm trying to say. Cash in on it, man. Fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull fucking
Hmm.
people into the fucking stands. Let's make some fucking money, dude. You
Really,
you stand there and
really,
look
really.
pretty and get people to show up for the shows. We'll write good music.
Mhm. Well, let's hit the title track, "Subhuman Race."
Theme song.
Another track that could have been on "Slave to the Grind."
I agree. Yes.
Slave energy there.
Got that
So,
aggression.
mm-hmm. I just like see boxing montages, like guys hitting the bag, like to the song or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Has this ever been used in a UFC like
It
a
should be. I doubt.
like the post show,
UFC.
like we're showing clips of these guys like just wailing on each other.
I gotta be honest, Venture. I've never actually watched a UFC event because I have contempt for the UFC and MMA in general because
I
I'm
mean, I kind of
weird.
feel you on that. I've watched a couple of
'Cause-
bouts, but it's not something I do regularly. And probably, honestly, it's probably been 7 years since I've seen a UFC bout. But a couple
I
years
just
ago, my sister did like amateur MMA fighting, and when she still lived around the area, I was always, "You want to come over and watch the fight?" I'm like, "I'll come over and hang out with you. I don't give a fuck
yeah,
about the fight, but I'll eat food and drink beer just like with football."
I hear you. I hear you.
I watch it. I don't really give a shit about what's going on, but yeah, I'll come hang out and have a good time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather watch boxing or wrestling, but wrestling's pissed in my Cheerios as of late. Oh, it's wintertime. And last 2 weeks here, well, this past weekend was a lot nicer. Weekend before that, we
Oof.
had snow. Weekend before that, we had ice. Thank God, personally, the power didn't go out. That would have been annoying as hell.
That was
Fincher
my
and I
main
both.
yeah, that was the main thing I was worried about, dude. As cold as it was gonna be, is like I don't wanna be sitting around here without fucking heat, man. Like,
Mm-mm.
a lot of
I
things
mean,
can happen, but I ain't trying to be sitting around here bundled up like I'm going hunting. It's like 32 degrees inside my house, and I'm like, "Ugh."
me and you both have a general contempt for the winter season, and
Well, I did
that
say
would just make
earlier,
it worse.
yeah,
Florida,
Florida's
uh,
in my
Ve-
future. I love them bright skies and sunshine.
Vegas for me. Hopefully, we'll
Hey, it's
see.
the same thing, man. Bright
Yeah.
skies, good temperate weather.
Dry heat, baby.
Hey, that
Uh,
might even be better than Florida. You don't even get hurricanes in Vegas.
correct. There's that. All right, Frozen. Shout out to Elsa.
Let it go.
Hold up. That kind of reminds me of Alice in Chains. Get born again
It's
riff.
funny you bring that
Huh.
up. I was going to tie into that. later on when I give my final album review. But yeah, I hear what you're saying with that.
Yeah, interesting. Back to the track. Now, this is generally one of the tracks I like on here.
I was, yeah, before you said that, it's would probably round out my top 4 songs of this album.
It keeps it interesting. With the verses, lyric, then riff, back to lyric, riff, and then the clean guitar comes in. That's cool, and that's
well. To your point earlier about Alice in Chains, I'll dive in later, but this song specifically, I feel like has some strong vibes from the self-titled Alice in Chains album with the 3-legged dog on it that came out right around the same time. Which was not produced by Bob Rock, but yeah, I could hear this song being on that Alice in Chains record and it being an Alice in Chains song.
I wonder if Chains and Skid Row were friends.
That's a good question.
We know Skid Row and Pantera were friends, but I don't know if Pantera knew Alice in Chains. But Metallica did. But at that time, Pantera and Metallica didn't really like each other. Who knows?
All this hating, man. Imagine being that rich and that successful, and you just hating on other people. It's like,
man, fuck them dudes.
Yeah, if I'm James Hetfield, it's the mid-90s. Why am I going to be hating on fucking Philip Anselmo? Like, let's be friends and go on tour together and make some fucking money.
They did just that last year.
True.
With their stadium tour with the Pantera opening for Metallica. I would have went, but God, it was an arm and a leg for a ticket, like everything else these days.
That's why I didn't either. I mean, I would have. And normally those reforms, but I feel like the people they had in Pantera would made sense, and it would have it would have rang true. So I would have went, but like you said, the tickets were just way too much. I'm like, guys, I ain't making a car payment to go to a fucking concert.
My silly ass is doing that to go see AC/DC, but it's my son's birthday present and kind of my own birthday present
and you're running out of time to see them, man. Like,
that's the thing too.
Do it. He's kid's pretty young. He yeah.
First time Harvey ever saw Angus Young on I had a show playing on YouTube or something. He goes like, "That's a kid." Like in the schoolboy outfit. I'm like, nah, that's not a kid. He just kind of looks like one. He's in the schoolboy outfit.
He's just a tiny man who dresses that way.
Tiny little Aussie man. Turn it up. Yeah, Frozen's pretty cool. Check that one out. The AI overview says the song portrays a deep sense of emotional stagnation, isolation, and feeling trapped in one's own life. I hear you.
Kind of like how the band was probably feeling about each other and then the band in general at this point.
Well, let's get on with it. Here it is, Into Another.
I've never seen this video before either. Pretty quality videos as far as just the visuals though. Like the money was there.
More of that 90s lighting and then like the blurry frame.
Oh yeah, that washed out 90s light shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember 1995.
Yeah. Good old days.
Being 12, bro.
Life was simple, bro.
That it was. My biggest decision was, am I going to have a meatball hot pocket or a ham hot pocket today?
See, I had the luxury of my mom being single again. So like basically Friday nights, she'd give me like a Papa John's pizza and I could get like 2 videos to pick a flick. So I saw a
Nice.
bunch of movies, ate a bunch of pizza.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Had my own TV, had like a 19-inch and a VCR and everything in my room. Boom.
Hell yeah.
Good old days.
Yeah, I miss them.
Plucking chickens here? You know what I'm wondering? I bet they shot all these videos on the same day or over 2 days.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It probably economically that'd make more sense.
That's probably the label's way of raking them over the coals. As the label knew they had to give them this money contractually for prior sales, but the label was also like, we know this ain't gonna sell for shit, so yeah, we'll give you the fucking money, but you're gonna do all this shit at one time.
Wonder who directed this video. Doesn't say. Huh. Video's been up for 7 years, Venture. Huh.
Yeah, but
well.
I never knew there was a video for this song, but
it's all good. It's a little bit more. God, what does this video look like? This looks like somebody. Oh God.
I'm trying to remember, but I'm like you. There's something that's like right there that I'm getting like hella vibes from, but I can't quite fucking place it.
Is it Candlebox You? Or no, it's kind of
It reminds me a lot of the Heaven Beside You video from Alice in Chains too.
Might have been the same director.
Same type of lighting, all that cutting in and out. We'll quickly go black and then open up to a different scene, and
everything's in bush.
Ah,
that's what it looks like. Cause it's got the funky guy with the horns. It's all blurry, and
I forgot about that video, man.
Bush is kind of forgettable.
I was all into him back in these days, though.
Fuck you, Crow.
All right.
No crows were hurt in the making of this video. Sure. So you like this track, Fetcher?
I dig it. I like it. I don't love it, but once again, I feel like it's got some interesting instrumentation going on, and again, I feel like box vocals sound really good on this song.
That's gonna be good acoustic too.
Yeah, that actually would be another good acoustic song.
Rework it kind of
like. I dig it. I feel like that song specifically could have really been a standout track for this era of the band. But all the infighting and tension, and then, you know, like I mentioned earlier, I think they wanted to stick with Michael Wagner. Atlantic was like, you're using fucking Bob Rock. Yeah.
Couldn't win.
Yeah, I just feel like there was just a lot of just bad emotions involved there. But I feel like it's a strong track. I put it like this. I wouldn't put it, if I was making a Skid Row compilation for somebody, this would be on there. It would be towards the end of the mix, but it would still be in there.
Next to last track.
Close to there, yeah. Good.
Yeah, I got Face Against My Soul, track 10. More proggy drums. Wah pedal. Now, this sounds like a soundtrack song, Venture. This definitely.
Last Action Hero, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, one of those for sure. Pretty, very 90s-ish track. Of all of them, I'd say that one's the most. We got this 90s recipe going on in this fucking song, baby. Like, check it out.
Yeah, it definitely drips 90s vibes.
Drips nice. Kind of a filler track, but I'm going to say the movie. I
say it's kind of a filler track, but I don't feel like it was a mail-in filler track. You know, I just, again, box vocals, I think, sound great in this song, but.
Well, if you're feeling sick, we only got a few more tracks left, but If you need to, go to the messenger. WHMM. Huh. Now, this is probably one of the best songs on the whole record. This
I can't argue that.
The energy, the layout, the vocal riff are coming back in, simplified.
I feel like it all works too, like that wah pedal, like this the drum beat, everything is just exactly as it should be, I think, for this song.
Mm-hmm. The solo doubling, that sounds fucking awesome.
Yes.
It's good shit. Got that pounding beat.
Mm-hmm.
Try to incorporate that in my stuff much as I can. Doesn't always work out. Would you put this on your compilation for?
I would. Yeah, if I was making a Skid Row compilation or an OG Skid Row compilation, I should say, yeah, this would definitely be. Once again, it wouldn't be one of the first few tracks, but I'll be honest with you, if I was doing it, probably the first 5 tracks I would put on that would be all from Slave to the Grind.
And
then I'd start throwing in shit from the debut album and mixing stuff from the debut and this one.
Gotcha. Well, let's move on to our third and final video, Breaking Down, which has also been up for 7 years. Oh, I've seen clips of this. Where they're in the
this is the one I remember seeing in middle school on like VH1 or some shit back in the day.
They're in the cemetery because this lineup's about to die. This is obviously New Orleans. Speaking of Bush,
yeah,
that riff is very Little Things.
It's like almost like a mix between Little Things and Glycerine, but if Glycerine was kind of electrified a bit.
Yeah. We see you, Skid Row. We know what you're doing. I like the imagery in the video. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the video, I always thought the video was cool, but I like the song a lot too, man. I feel like ballads weren't always Skid Row's like strong suit, but I feel like they also always knock ballads out of the fucking park.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I Remember You, but I can skip it too.
The best ballad, my favorite ballad they've ever done would probably be Quicksand Jesus.
Good one.
That video is just killer. I love that fucking song.
Nice
Oh, and
psychedelic video. It's cool.
that and
Is it?
Wasted Time.
It's a good one too.
Yeah.
Um,
But no, but I feel like this is a really really good tune, man. It's well
it's
produced, it's
well written.
performed well, it's written well. I like the it's also very 90s.
Extremely 90s.
Yeah,
The
it's just
video and the song.
yeah, this even the song itself just oozes mid 90s, which I grew up then. I got a little bit of a soft spot in my heart for that era of life, but
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of
We
when I
both
was,
did.
well, me and you both, kind of exiting childhood,
For
beginning to enter very young adulthood, and
the
pivotal time
teens.
in life. But it's a great song. I I like this. Hell, this song's actually got the most plays of any song on this
I
record,
think
I guess.
2 million. This is on YouTube Music. Yeah, that one's got
Wow.
2 million.
Okay, so
Everything
it's
else is like thousands. And so another's got 1.8 million though.
hmm.
Huh. Well,
What do you
so
think
it goes
about
on.
it?
It's yeah, like I said, it's very derivative of the time, and but that's fine. It's
Which how much did
I,
Bob
you,
Rock have to do with that, though?
okay. That's something else I read, that he was producing a lot of alternative bands at that time, so he was probably like, "Hey guys, check out this band I'm producing. You should write something like that." Or
Yep,
like,
and I'm
hey,
sure
and
Atlantic kind of gave him some instructions, like, "Hey, man,
his production, which used to be so epic when we're talking Sonic Temple, Dr. Feelgood, Black
wow."
Album, is way tuned down by this era, like way minimalized, not quite as grandiose.
Which is
Which,
unfortunate because
but it's kind of like, could you help but get caught up in the era of what was going on? I don't know. Hmm.
well, and that's also a thing, man. It's like how
Hmm.
I don't know. It's weird to think. I mean, I'm not going to go off on a rant here, but we all experience outside forces all the time, especially with like whether we mean them to or not, or whether we really want things to bother us. Just the world we live in, we're going to be affected by the bullshit that's going on around us.
Influenced.
Even if we don't want to, it's just
Yeah. What can you do? Huh.
yeah.
Well, this one's for you, Will. This is
Hey,
the record closer, Iron Will. Oh. Comes and goes, quick as does the day. Oh, is there a bonus track?
it's just noise. Yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
it's not an
Huh.
actual track. I think it's silent for like 4 or 5 minutes, and it's maybe like a minute or just
That was the fun of CDs, because final track could be like that, or rewinding at the first track to what was before.
yep.
That was always interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, that shit blew my mind back when, in that era when you could do
the
stuff
CD
like that. Because a
era.
lot of times I would discover it by accident.
Mm-hmm. Me
Like I'd be
too.
trying to just like move around the disc, and I was like, "Oh shit, oh shit."
Can't believe it. I didn't know that was there.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
like, "Whoa, man, I just discovered a secret."
Well, that's another, I would say, could have been on Slave to the Grind track.
Hmm.
Aggressive.
I think
Close it
it's a
out
great album
strong.
closer.
Yeah, closing out strong on that
Well,
one.
great album closer for this particular album, anyway. I just feel like it fits and it works.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gets the job done. It's
Yeah.
a meat and potato Skid Row song.
It's-
Well, it's that time again for the review. The Gold Skulls. I'm interested to see what Fincher gives this. He's probably interested to see what I
I'm gonna
have.
be objective.
It's only fair to be.
Yep.
I'll let you go first, Venture. Go
I'm
ahead.
self-aware enough to know my own prejudices because I will say full disclosure before I get into this. Even though we really only got 2 albums from like prime Skid Row, they have always been, and I foresee until I die, always will be one of my favorite bands of this genre that we cover on this podcast. Um, Skid Row, just like Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses, was one of those bands I was proudly pulling up in high school in 1999, blasting loud as fuck. People are like, bro, you know it's 1999, right? I'm like, you can
I
shut
want
the
the
fuck
big
up.
guns.
Yeah, it's
Pointing at my heart, baby.
yeah, I remember because I had a Nissan 240 SX back in those days, and there was another dude. I wasn't really friends with him, but like we got along. He had a Mitsubishi Eclipse. We were on Gap Creek Road when there was really nothing on Gap Creek Road going to the high school. I was actually blasting Slave to the Grind, driving to school, and I saw him pull up behind me. So, you know, I basically raced him. He got over an oncoming traffic lane, but there was nobody there. So like the whole mile back to the school, me and him just dogged it out between my 240 and his Eclipse, and I was just blasting Slave to the Grind. That was one of the days I
Nice.
pulled up in the parking lot. Other people were like, "What the fuck are you listening to, dude?" I was like,
That's
"This shit
awesome.
fucking rocks. Fuck you," you know? Like,
Y'all can keep your Backstreet Boys and bullshit.
exactly. It's like,
Tupac.
yeah. But either way, but to rate this album, once again, I recognize my own bias. Skid Row is one of my favorite bands of this genre. Um, Even with my bias, though, I was leaning towards giving it a 3 because overall, I do feel like it's a mostly average album. But me being the Skid Row fanboy that I am, I think objectively and realistically, I'm going to settle on 2.5 gold skulls for this album. Um, I feel like it's, like I said, mostly average. There are some high marks on it. I enjoy the record. But reminding what we were talking about earlier, I feel like this album kind of, well, not kind of, I feel like this album successfully pulls the best of grunge that would mesh with Skid Row. You know, like you had mentioned Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, those bands specifically, and kind of mesh them into the overall Skid Row sound. I feel like it works, but you know, in 1995, let's be honest, who really gave any shits about Skid Row? It's like,
Yeah, like I said, I remember the MTV Weekend Rock interview with them snowboarding when it just came out. Some kind of little promo deal. Maybe they were doing a junket. I don't know. Skid Row's still making records? Okay. Weekend Rock.
yeah.
Kurt Loder. Yeah. So, favorite tracks?
All right, 3 favorites in no particular order would probably be Eileen, Fireside, and hmm. Well, hmm.
Breaking down?
You know what? Yeah, I would have to throw that in there if I'm being honest.
Gotcha.
Trying to pick more of a rocker, but I really do dig that song. I feel like it's a good tune. It was a point in my life I'm not delving into, but that song meant a lot to me for a couple of months at one point in my life. It just, once again, is one of the random times I put this album in, kind of forgot about that tune, but what I was dealing with in life at that point, you know, blah, blah, blah. We're not here to be depressing, but yeah.
Trying to lift spirits.
Yeah, we're all about good times. Which
Positive
life is a lot
vibes.
better now, guys, by the way, full disclosure.
So what you give her?
2.5 gold skulls. I feel like
2.5,
I said, being objective, I feel like that's me being fair. Like I said, I kind of wanted to give it a 3. And depending on, there was a point I was like, no, 3.5. But I was like, dude, listen to this as a real person, not you, the Skid Row fan. So,
I hear you. It's good to be objective.
yeah, this is an overall rock record. I feel like it's a solid 2.5. I don't feel like it's a shit bucket, but it is by no means a barn burner either. It's got its points, but
I'll go ahead and give you my 3 favorite tracks. No particular order. Yeah, Fire Sign, Medicine Jar, Breaking Down. It's cool.
Well,
I have some.
ironically, those first two you did were what I was hum-humming over here about my third one a minute ago. So it's
Ah, gotcha.
similar. We're on the same page.
So, some qualms I have with this record. I wrote these down earlier in the week. The production, like we said earlier, Bob Rock, what the fuck? Like, could if we could run this through a Dr. Feelgood Sonic Temple, would it? But then again, the genre of, and if you think of it, any band, Skid Row could have survived, like the grunge wave, if you will, and it was done well, but I don't know, just something missing for me. Like the hooks are missing on this record, especially. There's no gang vocals like we have on the first two records.
True.
Where the
That
fuck
is,
did those go? and,
yeah. They
and
went away with
it's like,
Michael Wagner.
yeah, Michael Wagner took them, I guess. And you know, the band sounds kind of uninspired, but not always. And it's like, to me, I don't know, not a whole lot really sticks, other than like Fire Signs melody of the chorus. It's, I don't know. And the fucking record's too long. It's an hour long. What the fuck?
Get over with it already.
So I'm also a Skid Row fan, probably not quite as big as you, but like most people, big fan of the first two records. And I'm gonna go to Gold Skulls personally.
Honestly, higher than I thought you'd give it, Steve.
Yeah. As an objective child of the '90s, if you will, and music fan overall, rock aficionado. Yeah,
True.
go to Gold Skulls. So that leads us into next next episode. I have two ideas. I'm gonna let you pick one.
Oh shit! All right.
First one's a little nobody band called Casanova. These are both anniversary records.
I've heard some Casanova. I would not say I'm super familiar, but unlike Bang Gang, I have listened to some Casanova before.
Why do I think they're Canadian?
I think I follow them on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
I think
Casanova, or which is 35, I think, if I remember correctly, this year. Or if you want to go Big Cheese, the 40th. Look what the cat dragged in,
shit.
as requested by homie on YouTube.
I'm gonna be full honest with you. I want to do Casanova 100%. I do like delving into these deep bands. We've talked about that way outside of this podcast scene, but no, we got to go Poison, man. And the reason I say that, because when I picked Subhuman Race for today, that was kind of like a last minute audible. I thought about it, but I was going to do a Poison record.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I'm already wanting to do some Poison anyway. So yeah, look at what the cat dragged in. Sounds great.
Poison it is. Celebrating 40 years.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good. Well, everybody, thank you for listening and giving us your time and such. Hopefully this episode doesn't get pulled, but we're always on Rumble. And follow us on Facebook and all that stuff. Give us a review on Spotify. That'd be cool. Tell your friends. If you come into Monsters on the Mountain, I got free stickers somewhere. I'll have them there in August. Yeah, well, a little ways away, but whatever. Well, thanks for listening, and take her sleazy.